Future Talk.
This is Future Talk
with Omnial Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and good afternoon. You're listening to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. This is the one and only place where we give you a quick roundup of everything that is happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and all around the world. I cannot even explain how happy I am that it's Wednesday, that this week is finally almost coming to an end. It has felt like the longest week.
Especially if you're waiting for something. What are you waiting for, Omnia? What is happening tomorrow?
The weekend.
What are you doing this weekend?
Not sure yet, but all I know is I'm very excited to get more sleep.
I smell lies.
I'm very excited to get more sleep.
I mean, we're all excited to get more sleep, Omnia, but we know what else is exciting in the news today.
Yes. Why are you talking so suspiciously?
Because you were starting it out suspiciously.
Suspiciously?
Yes. But ladies and gentlemen, today on Future Talk, we're talking about how the UAE is leading the region in promoting women in artificial intelligence.
We've always known the UAE to be very fair and equal towards both genders, males and females, but today they're also helping encourage women and giving them that extra push to go ahead and pursue what they love when it comes to artificial intelligence. Coming up on today's show as well, we're going to be talking all about the awaited event. The 14th of September is a day that Hani's waiting for, Kareem from social media is waiting for, and a lot of people are waiting for it to finally find out how does the iPhone 13 look like and to get their hands on it.
Now, Omnia, you know February 14th is considered Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for you, it's
for the
September.
lovers, for us tech lovers, for us iPhone lovers, September 14th is our Valentine's Day. And for our Gadget of the Day segment, ladies and gentlemen, we're also talking about how the new material, or this new material, could measure your heart rate right through your shirt. And I can already do that right now.
Is it beating? Oh my God.
Yeah, I can do a thing that only people who are watching the YouTube live right now can see it, and we're not going to give you any spoilers because it's a sight only your eyes are allowed to see.
Coming up in the world of weird tech, right here in the UAE, you may soon get a chance to talk to Einstein's digital twin. Yeah, you heard it right. Einstein is back alive, and you can actually get some answers from him in the Expo 2020 that everyone is waiting for very, very, very patiently.
Yeah, and if you're tired of long queues at the grocery store and you're saying, man, come on, I just have this Diet Cola, mama or auntie who's in front of you who has, groceries for the next month in front of you.
Can I just say, I hate when people cut you off in the line without asking. They just feel like, oh, I have one item. I'm just going to stand in front of this person. Like, okay,
I've never suffered from this.
Really?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, I think it differs from person to person.
Oh, really?
Right?
We say the UAE encourages women.
Yeah, again, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be no more queues and cash payments as AI is replacing humans at grocery stores all over the UAE.
Yes, indeed. One store is actually going to be the pilot store, and I've actually seen a video of how it works, and I cannot wait to get to see it in person. Lots and lots is in store right here on today's show, so make sure you keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the UAE is leading the region in promoting women in artificial intelligence. Now, women in AI actually prefer working for nonprofit organizations, and that actually does represent 36% of the industry. So I'm going to take a wild hunch and say the nonprofit is obviously the government sectors right here in the UAE. Now, we do know that the UAE has been at the forefront of empowering women to take on roles on AI. And that's across all levels. So we're looking at how right here in the region, we're not talking about the UAE, we're not talking about the Gulf, we're talking about the region, Middle East as well. They are leading it.
Yes, indeed. And we do know that the tech sector is usually very much male-dominated.
Yes.
So for us to see right here in the UAE that a lot of women are actually being encouraged to go ahead and pursue the tech sector, pursue artificial intelligence, that is something that we should not take lightly at all. The great strides of progress up to now can definitely be attributed to all the strong Arab women who did not give up. For someone else or for any other part of the world, if a woman, might find herself in a position where she's being discriminated, not equal rights are being given to her, not equal salaries are being given to both genders, they may just give up, go ahead and pursue any other sector where they're treated a lot more fairly. However, right here in the UAE, all Arab women do not compete against each other. They work with each other, especially when it comes to the sectors of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about women in tech, right? Not just women in AI, women in tech, they are very, underrated or looked over, and that is mostly in the West and in Europe. But right here in the UAE, we don't have this problem. They're actually more prioritized than men. And, women in AI actually prefer working for nonprofit organizations. And, I said that it was representing around 36% of the industry, while other industries have female representation of about 15 to 26%. So we're looking at how it's a very big number. And we know right here in the UAE, we are looking towards the next 50 to be very digitalized and very tech-centered. And when we have so many women working for nonprofit organizations and nonprofit, thus meaning government sectors, we're looking at a very, very, very well future.
Absolutely. And especially when we look at the education sector as well, statistics actually show that a big majority of the people enrolled in the world's first AI university that's actually found in the capital of the UAE, Abu Dhabi, about 30% of those enrolled are actually women. So this just goes to show that more women are increasingly becoming interested in this sector. They want to learn more about innovation and the different advancements in technology. Now, global organizations, they're also doing a lot to help encourage women and make sure that women are playing a key role when it comes to the AI sector. One example is the Women in AI initiative that has actually been, it's spread all around the world. Right here in Sharjah, more specifically the Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park, they hold an event every single year that is called Women in AI. And the main mission of this event is to actually encourage women, increase female representation, and make sure that they are participating in AI through the community, the different events and education that is being held.
Yeah, and it's not that there is a minority when it does come to women. Now, right here on Future Talk, actually, most of our guests or most of our interviewers are with women, believe it or not. And not just any type of woman. We're talking about young women in school, in universities, the youth in general, young adults. So we're looking at a very promising next, not just 50 years, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, a lot more women will be representing technology, AI, and the UAE.
Absolutely. Let us know if you know a woman in tech that you'd like to celebrate. We'd love to give her a very special shout out. Our text lines are open 4215. Do it Salat or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Coming up, we're talking all about Apple's big event, or like Hani likes to call it, the Tech
Valentine Day for Apple
tech lovers.
Apple lovers.
Yes, indeed.
That's the sound of eating an apple.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
I like the title that you gave to this special day that we're all waiting for, the Valentine of iPhone lovers.
Yes.
It's coming soon. It's the 14th of September. Everyone is marking their calendar and also preparing their bank accounts.
My bank account is well prepared. I've been saving
from a loss. I don't think anyone wants to talk to you on the 15th of September.
15th of September, please. I'm not available in the country. I am in my phone or I'll be sleeping inside of my phone because obviously it's going to cost me a whopping amount. But ladies and gentlemen, Apple has sent out the invites for the Valentine's Day for Apple lovers, which is September 14th. Now, if you're just tuning in, we said September 14th is, Valentine's Day for lovers because February 14th is the actual Valentine's Day that I've never celebrated in my whole entire life. But again, that's not the point.
Starts morning.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we have something more exciting talking about than just Valentine's Day.
It's so they've totally agreed to your description of it as a tech Valentine's Day to the point where Apple is sending out invitations to celebrate.
I've got one actually, believe it or not.
No way.
Yes.
I feel left out now.
So I'll tell you what happened, how I got this invitation. So you know I'm a beta tester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the invitation on my iCloud about 2 or 3 days ago. And everything was going. I was like, okay, great. I signed up. I put my name and my details and everything. And they're like, yeah, we'll send you a link. It's going to be a closed just for you, behind the scenes type of things. And I was like, yeah, I'll get to know before. And then all of a sudden, I'm chilling, and then I hear, and I wake up from my dream. It was the alarm.
At night?
Yeah, my alarm was waking me up because I was sleeping. It was a dream.
For a
At
second,
night?
I thought that they set an alarm on the calendar, like a reminder.
Yeah. No, my normal alarm to go to work at 7 a.m. went off, and I woke up from that dream.
There was your invite.
Yeah, there was my invite. Maybe Tim Cooks one day, he'll personally invite me if I reach that stature of things in life. But again, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have an invite, it's fine. You're going to be like a normal human being, just like Omni and I. But the launch will be streamed on Apple's website, and we do know that Apple has had virtual launch events since the start of the pandemic in 2020. Obviously, because COVID-19, we don't have to go through it again. The old shenanigans.
Yep.
COVID-19, social distancing, and all that good stuff. And we're obviously, the company may announce the new Apple Watch, the AirPods models, and Apple Watch, Omnia, I'm on my Series 4. I don't think I'll get the 7.
You don't think so?
We're at 6 or 7 now.
7.
So I don't think I'm getting the 7.
You don't think so?
Because with the watches,
I don't
it's
see
different.
what's the new features. Every feature comes up when you update your watch OS.
If they can check my glucose,
True.
then we'll talk about it.
Then honestly, it would be so worth changing.
Yeah, because I'm going to think about it this way. You're right? 5,700, 5,600 you're paying for a phone, right?
Yeah.
And then you put another 1,700 for the new watch, right? And then you put another 1,999 for the AirPods Pro.
Yeah.
You're putting like 10K out. And that's obviously, but that's not me. I would never go to that extent. But some people do that religiously every
True.
year, They'll sell their old stuff, or they'll trade it in and get the new one and keep on going.
100%. Now, this launch is going to actually be streamed on Apple's website, just like we've always, gotten used to. And Apple has actually, just like you mentioned, they've been holding virtual launch events ever since the COVID-19 pandemic started. So we are looking forward to witnessing the awaited iPhone 13. It is also possible that Apple may just actually go ahead and reveal some new subscription services, streaming services. We're still awaiting on that one. The company is actually also due to refresh their MacBook Pro and iPad models this fall, at least if it sticks to its annual schedule. But we do know that with the pandemic, things have definitely been delayed. It's still unclear if those new MacBook Pros and Apple iPads are going to be introduced alongside the iPhone event, or if they're going to go ahead and announce it in a separate event. This year's iPhone will also likely resemble last year's models, but with a smaller notch cut out at the top of the screen. So not much has been different when it comes to the exterior design, but we're hoping that the interior will hold enough surprises to lure the customers to go ahead and update their phone. Let us know.
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe the only thing that might be appealing exterior wise is the Apple Watch's new design.
Yeah.
And because it's going to be kind of like not circular shape towards the edges, more of just like a square rectangle, like how the iPhone
kind of
is.
like the iPhone. Same style. That's going to be
cool to
interesting to see. Yeah, you'll love anything squared edges, not curved.
I don't like the curve.
Let us know your thoughts, and if you're going to be getting your
hands on the
iPhone 13. Coming up on Future Talk, we still have lots in store for all of you, so keep all 75 locked. We'll be right back.
Gadget of the day.
New tech you might want to play with.
New tech you might want to play with or even wear. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about this new material that could measure your heart rate right through your shirt. A group of researchers have developed a new material that they say is as soft as cotton, but as strong as Kevlar. Now, for those who don't know what Kevlar is, it's basically body armor.
Ooh.
It, like, let's say, for example, Omnia.
Like made out of metal.
Like body armor, like, bulletproof armor. Kevlar.
Oh, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's not metal, it's just bulletproof armor.
Yeah. So it's like very thick material.
Yeah, very thick material, and it's as conductive as many metals. It can be worn and washed just like normal clothing, and could eventually turn athletic apparel into smart wearables. Now, they call this carbon nanotube threads. And, they work very similar to wires.
Yes, and they work similarly to the wires that are found in the EKG machine, which basically it's a device that measures your heart rhythms to detect if you have any irregular heartbeat or irregular heart conditions. Now, instead of having those wires, I'm not sure if you've ever had an EKG done, Hani, but usually they would stick them onto your chest to kind of measure your heart rate, and they're usually patched on the skin. You'd have to go to the hospital to be able to do it. Now, all these wires are actually sewn into that t-shirt, so you can wear it like you would a normal t-shirt, normal athletic wear, and according to the new study, these wires would be able to measure your heart rate very seamlessly. Now, unlike wires, these threads are actually very comfortably worn with, or they're
not as bulky.
Yeah, they're not as bulky. They're not as uncomfortable as getting an EKG. It can be washed, it can be stretched, it can be worn repeatedly without breaking down, which personally, I feel like this is such an interesting way to measure your heart rate. No, put aside sports-wise or athletic-wise, it would be great to measure your heart rate for that. But I feel like, especially for patients who struggle with, heart diseases, this would be an immense help for them instead of having to go to the hospital every single time they need to get an EKG.
Yeah, now a lot of researchers are saying, or, experts are saying that, another interesting application of this technology is that they can use them for next generation military uniforms. Now, believe it or not, technology was actually, accelerated because of military use, right?
Yes.
A lot of government armies and militaries, they wanted, the best equipment because
robots.
At one point in time, a normal gun wouldn't do the job. You needed to go deeper and deeper. Now, just a fun fact, worldwide spending on wearable devices is expected to grow up to 18% to $81.5 billion just this year, 2021, and another 15% in 2022. Now, many tech companies have invested in building similar capabilities into devices, and we do know that the Apple Watch does introduce heart monitoring, and that was all the way back in 2018, and even added other medical functionalities. And in 2019, believe it or not, Google did announce plans to buy Fitbit, and I didn't know Google owned Fitbit, by the way.
Oh, they do.
I didn't know that. And they completed earlier this year the same type of technology. So, obviously the stepping stone was watches, rings, and then obviously when you're going to start flying is going to be shirts, wearables. And I think we're going to look at maybe even armbands, because sometimes you check your blood pressure when you go to the hospital. I don't know what they call it. They put an armband around you.
Yeah, it's like it's a blood pressure cuff.
Blood pressure cuff, and then imagine you have a t-shirt cuff that does the same.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see if it's going to be able to measure other vitals as well, apart from just your heart rate, maybe body temperature. Who knows? Let us know if you would love to get your hands on one of those shirts. Our text lines are open, 4215, do it a lot, or send into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
I'm waiting for Einstein. The digital. You're the Einstein, aren't you?
I'm Einstein. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Einstein's digital twin that is going to answer questions at the Swiss Pavilion. Now,
that's happening in Expo.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, experts from the ETH Zurich will also talk about harvesting water from the atmosphere and how to grow microalgae as a meat alternative. Now, I don't know about you, but I would not take any type of meat unless it comes from a cow.
I agree. I don't like the whole
synthesized meat, artificial meat.
I don't get it. But, to each their own. Some people do enjoy it and enjoy the taste of it. Now, meeting Einstein's digital twin, that's going to be, honestly, a very interesting experience for a lot of people, because a lot of people want answers to their questions, and I'm hoping that the digital Einstein can actually maybe give those answers. Now, this digital twin was made by experts at the ETH Zurich, which is a University of Science and Technology, and they are going to be using the power of AI to talk to the public. Back in 1921, Albert Einstein, as we all know, he won a Nobel Prize for his contribution to the theoretical physics.
That's 100 years ago.
Yeah, I must say, I honestly hated Einstein back in high
School days, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just like, wait, was it Einstein who, when the apple fell on his head, he went to find out why?
I don't believe so. That's
Who was it? Newton. That was
Newton's
Newton,
law,
yeah.
yes.
I don't know. I remember I just hated everyone who discovered physics. But a century on, his work is still being commemorated. A lot of people are studying his theories, applying them, and digital humans like Einstein, who can hear, see, and interact with the person in front of them, are absolutely essential in big events like the Expo event, because he may just be able to kind of take the load off of the humans that are there, trying to accommodate everyone and making sure that all the questions are being answered.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when we're talking about, the spectrum, or, when we say someone is smart, the number one thing that comes to the mind is, he thinks he's Einstein. Look at
Yes.
this Einstein guy, he thinks he's smart. And, he is smart. He was deemed one of the smartest people in the world to date. But we do know that Einstein's appearance is modeled on how he looked during his formative years in Zurich, and the technology does use natural language processing and even digital rendering of expressions and body language to bring the young Einstein to life.
What is one question you'd want to ask Einstein? Not necessarily the digital twin, because this twin can't offer you answers to the meaning of life or any hypothetical questions. But what is one question that you'd want an answer from Einstein on?
That is a really good question to ask me, Omnia. Now, I'm not no mathematician or a physicist or any of those things, or I'm into chemistry, nothing like that. So I don't know what I would ask him. If someone who is into, numbers and stuff, they would probably ask him a lot of questions. But I mean, maybe we'll ask him his
Googling.
thoughts on AI.
I'm Googling what questions can I ask Einstein.
if back in the 1920s artificial intelligence was a thing, like, did people actually think that, hey, maybe one day we'll have artificial intelligence? And ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about food, farming, and clean energy, obviously that is the number one thing a lot of governments across the world and companies across the world are trying to complete with, right? They're trying to have clean energy, and sustainable food production is the future of farming, and clean, affordable energy is a lot of challenges that are going to be addressed by the Swiss scientists and academics from Einstein's alma mater. Now, our AI and sustainability are obviously key themes for graduates, with some projects due to be showcased in Dubai South, and that is when Expo 2020 kicks off in just about under a month, right?
Yes.
October 1st.
Yes, indeed. There are so many things that we could potentially ask Einstein, not necessarily his digital twin, because his answers are very limited, but let us both know. What's one question you'd like
His
to
thoughts
ask?
on Stephen Hawking.
Oh, that's a good one. I would want to ask
I don't
that.
like Stephen Hawking.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Personal opinion.
Okay. When you Google what questions could you ask Einstein, one question that I thought was interesting is, can gravity really be blamed for anything these days? And another is, kind of testing out, another question was, if reality is an illusion, how do we figure out what is actually going on Earth?
Yeah, a lot of people actually, it goes through their mind a lot. Is life an illusion? Right? Are we in a, what do they call it? A simulation?
Yeah, like in a different dimension.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that is considered a mental illness. So,
Is it?
schizophrenia.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So, obviously if you have
But
that
like a lot
thought
of
once
people,
or twice,
yeah, a lot of people
it's fine.
wonder.
But a lot of, I know, I've read stories on a couple of people who developed schizophrenia because they thought too much about the illusions.
Segment. Let's reminisce.
Reminisce, yes.
Yes, let's Can't speak English today. One quote that Einstein's actually very famous of is, he says, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. And I don't think I've read anything more accurate than this.
Yeah, I mean, that is something Omni and I have a motto of.
Yep.
Obviously, we won't tell you because it's Omni and I's hidden secret. Explain like I'm 5.
Yes,
Ladies and
indeed.
gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back,
The most exciting grocery store that I really want to go and be able to experience it, happening right here in the UAE, where you go in and you leave without a single person interacting with you. It's totally run by AI.
Check this out. Check this out. Oh my 95.
Imagine a grocery.
Next. Next.
The creativity, you guys. At the beginning of the segment, he just like jolted out of his
Arbab
seat.
Adakam?
Arbab Adakam. You cannot ask this question anymore.
Next.
Yeah, there's no Arbab, no one to ask anymore in this grocery store that we're talking about. It is honestly my dream grocery store because you don't have to interact with anyone. You don't have. I'm gonna sound like such.
Antisocial person.
Yeah, antisocial. Like sometimes you just want to go through the grocery store and just enjoy the silence.
I mean, no one talks to me about the grocery store.
No one, but like there's just I don't know so much.
But there's a different feel when you're in the souk.
But waiting at the checkout, waiting in front of so many people, and sometimes you're just there to pick up one thing, and you have to stand in a very long queue.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't go grocery shopping as much, but sometimes I will jump into the nearest supermarket, I'll get something quick. Obviously, I get my 6-pack of Diet Coke because I'm addicted to Diet Coke. And, I'd pass sometimes like, come on, man, I just have this one item.
True.
And obviously, there's always, a little elderly lady to say, just this one. I'd be like, you can come in front of me.
They're the sweetest.
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
But soon enough, you won't have any more interactions with the cute elderly lady in front of you because a store in the UAE is going to eliminate all of that.
Yes, indeed. One Carrefour right here in the UAE, more specifically in the Emirate of Dubai, known as, I think it's called the One Plus Carrefour, something around that name. And they opened
It's a phone, One Plus.
Yeah, true. They opened in Mall of the Emirates, and this store is phenomenal. It's very similar to Amazon's cashierless store that has opened in the US a couple of months ago. You have an application known as the Share application downloaded on your phone. And to that app, you connect your credit card details. You go into the store by basically tapping your QR code, the QR code in the app on the gate, and the gate automatically opens. You go in, you pick up one item out of 1,300 items that they have in that pick up and go store. You get your item, you tap the QR code on the gate again, and you leave. And everything you picked up is basically has been scanned, and you have already paid for it without actually having to scan anything. So everything in the store is labeled. Once you pick it up and it's removed, the AI, the algorithm, already acknowledges that, let's say, one chocolate milk was removed, one bottle of water was removed, and you basically you pay that amount automatically without you even having to signal, that you just left the store. It just pays on its own, which I think is actually very neat because this is going to be the future, You don't have to sit down and waste time at a grocery store. It just all happens automatically, and they have about, I think, 47 or 49 cameras distributed all over the store.
Yeah, I mean, shoppers can start by accessing products at the outlet.
Sorry, 97
yes.
cameras, yeah.
And, they have a list of 1,300 products, and then, obviously a virtual cart is updated as their choices at the store exceed or decrease. And, a lot of some people will have privacy concerns, and to address those privacy concerns over the use of facial recognition in the Middle East, AI cams only use body structure to identify and follow a person around the store, so they are not actually getting your face, they're just getting your body structure.
And if you're wearing a mask, it does not matter because all it looks at is the structure of your body, which I thought is so neat.
Yeah, I mean, the footage, which is instrumental for the key point mechanism that differentiates you from another shopper and can only be accessed by a team to resolve customer complaints. So it's not just out there in the back, right?
Yes.
Only a certified team will get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a step towards the future, and I'm glad to see something like this being used right here in the UAE. I mean, we'd always talk about Amazon. It was very far-fetched for us to have something, not in the Middle East in general.
Yes, indeed. I'm so excited to get to try this grocery store. I've never been more excited to
I mean, you're on a roll today, Omnia, when it comes to this grocery. And that's how you know you're getting old. You're getting excited for shopping. For not any type of shopping, grocery shopping. But again, I don't blame you, Omni. This type of story is amazing. I mean, when we heard about these or when we talked about them, most of the time, we talk about them from the point of view that Amazon is doing it, right?
Yeah, and in the US, or China or South Korea. Never did I think it would arrive to the UAE or the Middle East.
And the
this
Majid Al
soon.
Futtaim group is doing
Yeah.
it. So that is crazy and amazing. And we do know Majid Al Futtaim, he is a prominent billionaire and investor, and he's done so much. He has so many, outlets and malls. And for him to implement something like this is crazy. Let us know your guys' thoughts, though.
Yes, indeed. This is so far in one store, but they're planning to expand it very soon to basically maybe cover every Carrefour in the UAE. Who knows? Let me know, how excited are you to this grocery store? And if you've actually seen it yourself. Our text lines are open, 4215 Door Etisalat, or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. It's been such a great and exciting show with all of you. Hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did. And
No one enjoyed it as much as you and Mia. When it came to the groceries.
I love groceries.
But we have sad news, ladies and gentlemen, before we let you go. There will no longer be a bell at Pulse 95 Radio.
Why?
Wait, it's working again.
Yeah, you thought it broke?
Yeah, I thought I broke it.
No, because you have your finger close to it.
Wait. It's semi-broken.
Semi-broken.
We'll get a technician to fix it. Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude Future Talk for today. Hope you guys had a great time just like us. We're going to be opening up the airwaves for the man himself, Omar Douri, the only place to be at 3, the halftime show. T-minus 3 minutes until it commences and kicks off. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, only here on Pulse
95.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.